and jump in, as it looks like the teams are just now wrapping up their drafts. So let's go ahead and check out the lineups. From the looks of it, we got the normal, as I said earlier, Chico is going to be captaining the blue squad, led behind by Nacho Cheese, Blink, Kason's, MILF Money, and O Knockouts. Some familiar names to the B2P scene. And on the other side, we have Marshkip leading the red squad with Tranquility, Ghost Sniper, Game Ruler, Vendetta, and Rambo. And Dark, you're decently familiar with a lot of these people, especially their playstyles and a lot of the things that they do on during matches. So if you would hazard a guess as to who's going to be playing which role, especially with the current bans that we have, right? Like the Reinhardt's being banned, the McCree Widow hit scans being banned, and then those Baptiste. Is there anything that you're kind of expecting to see out of these matchups?
Well, I'm kind of, no matter what, expecting a Mercy out of MILF Money, because that's kind of the only thing that I really know she plays. But Knockout got Reinhardt banned, so I don't know what Knockout's going to play at all. Blink more than likely would be on either a Tracer or a Genji, or Chico will take over that Genji, because I know Chico plays that too. But for the most part, blue side's going to have to figure out what Knockout's going to be on with that Reinhardt being banned. For red side, I know Marsh can play a lot, but I think Marsh said earlier that he was going to play support, but I don't remember if that's him or someone else that said that. But I know how Game Ruler and Rambo play a lot, but I've seen Rambo play both tank and DPS before, so he could throw a ball at us at any time. But I don't think he plays Reinhardt, so the Reinhardt might not be a problem for him to have that ban. Game Ruler, on the other hand, is a pretty good DPS, and I could see that being a problem for the blue team.
Yeah,
As for Tranquility and the Sniper, I don't really know.
It looks like we've got our readies from our captains as well, so we'll be getting our starting in 10 very shortly. So from the looks of it, with the I believe we're still playing on the current patch with the Orisa patch going through, with the Fortify no longer allowing for headshot damage. You have Winston's health being redistributed, and his armor is going to be a little bit more resilient. And the Reaper changes. They're calling it a tweak from the patch notes, but I kind of feel like this is going to be a good buff for Reaper. So I do see a lot of the tank play is going to just describe how we play this evening. If we see a lot of the Reapers that I'm kind of expecting, we're not going to be able to see this Wednesday, and I think we'll kind of fall back into that double shield clamshell meta with the Sigma and Orisa, right?
Definitely. With Reaper being, tweaked a little bit recently, and he was already very, very good inside the metas to take down tanks. With the shields probably coming back, we're going to be seeing, maybe even Reaper Junkrat, Pharah Junkrat, Pharah Reaper, stuff like that. And that could prove very, very bad for those teams on defense, because double shield on offense can be played pretty well, but on that defense, being stood still for too long with a Reaper, Junkrat, Pharah, those will just melt you down.
Yeah, it's true. Especially one of the things that we always like to hark on, especially when I'm casting these kind of games, is the crutch characters for lower elos, especially when it comes to those. I personally have harked on how much I don't like Junk being in low elo, because his play style and uses get a little bit more give a little bit more leeway to characters with a lot less mechanical skill. But especially when it comes to the Reaper picks that I'm expecting to see, Reaper positioning is almost everything when it comes to his playstyle in these comps. But from the looks of it, it doesn't look like we have anybody coming out on the Reaper regardless of the change. We are going to be seeing a Mercy mirror, like you talked, from MILF Money with Tranquility on the other side. But from the looks of it, the blue squad on defense, Chico is going to be bringing out the Hanzo with Blink's Tracer, Kason's and Knockout on the Diva and Zarya respectively. And it looks like Blink's already caught a bad end of a Tracer duel as Rambo ends up getting the headshot. And it now looks like the offense are going to be able to push this forward with a 5v6. Tracer should be back pretty quickly, so they're going to have to make this advantage turn pretty quick. From the looks of it, Kaysen's is very low, but it's going to get out without losing the mech. Very, very low. Unable to be capitalized on, even regardless of Rambo being in the back. But they've been pushed back through the archways. The point has been flipped over. They've got the second tick almost already. Tranquility is also able to get the res on a game ruler, and this should be a pretty fast first point for Team No.
Blink getting picked off really fast in that first engagement really got them caught off guard, and Rambo could just go straight into their backline with no anti-tracer. That caused the Zenyatta just to be able to get up forward even more, and the Ana couldn't even fight back against that tracer either.
And we'll see what happens in this tracer duel here as Rambo and Blink once again going back at it, and the sides. Looks like Rambo's already burned the pulse bomb, didn't seem to get too much value out of that, but now Rambo's got a pocket out of the Mercy as Marshkip ends up finding Blink on the backside. So the DPS get traded out, and Chico gets a pick onto Vendetta, so we're now 5v5 with numbers in the order. Should be favoring the defenders here as the spawns are kind of in the midline, but Knockout goes a little too deep and finds the blade of Marshkip as he drops some shurikens. But in the back line, Ghost Sniper drops the mines to kind of divide the aggression a little bit, putting Yes off a little bit and allowing No to kind of regroup back on cart. And Rambo, once again, getting the better of Blink in the tracer duel in the back. But again, G goes up for a blade here, finds one, finds two. Marshkip is now just tearing up the back line. See if he can find any more onto the back of that. But it should be an easy fight win from the side of No, and they should be able to push this cart pretty quickly, but nobody's on it.
The utilization of Blade right there to also pinch off the Mercy from being able to fly and be up high was probably the best play to do right there. Even though he could have gotten at least 3, maybe even 4 kills back, the choosing of blocking the Mercy's rotate off was way better and caused the D.Va to die a little bit staggered.
Yeah, it's a good watch for the peel there as they end up nanning the Winston in. It looks like the Winston's going to try and get some kind of value into the back line. But it aids out pulling the Trank, and they're less than 4 meters away from getting this cart push. But the re-engage from Yes is going pretty well. And another blade's going to be coming out from Chico. See if they get the nano onto them. Doesn't look like they're going to need it, as 2 slices, 3 slices are going to come through. But there's still a Valkyrie Mercy in there, allowing Vendetta kind of keep alive. But the pocket's not doing too much, and they haven't really fully lost the fight yet, as the tanks are still engaged. But Vendetta does end up falling eventually as the supports get separated. And it looks like Yes have restabilized right before the end of the Streets phase of Kings Row.
This is a really rough place for them to be able to hold to. They can come from any angle and get the jump on them, and they don't have a lot of places to hide here. So if they play aggressively with it being that little of a meter edge to go through, the Tracer could easily back cap.
One of those things you always have to be careful of, but it looks like the first pick is going to go in the way of the offense, as Blink once again dying early, but it does look like they have their tanks in the background to run Primal, and a bomb's going to be burned as well, and Vendetta gets forearmed into the bomb. Picks going in the way of the defenders still, as the payload is unable to move forward, but a lot of ultimates expended there. Both tank ultimates out. And from the other side, No is going to be coming back with almost all of their ults, pretty much a 6-stack, as Rambo should be able to charge it pretty quickly with Tranquility, 20% to Valk.
Ooh, but Rambo actually gets picked off by Blink in a very, very rough situation right there. So they're down that number, but it is Tracer. She's pretty fast.
And again, they're still in the middle of a regroup. They haven't really full committed to the fight yet, but it looks like they are going to try and send it here. They do have the ultimates to try and push this, and there's a nice grab out from Vendetta. A blade to Valkyrie combo is just going to clean up the field.
4K.
A smooth 4K on the back of Vendetta's grab. Should be able to clean this point up, and they've broken that choke pretty quickly. And like I was talking about, that ultimate advantage coming in from the side of the offense is really making that difference for that fight.
I didn't want to say it because I thought it was going to happen no matter what, and I thought everyone was going to see it, but grab Blade right there was just what they needed to do, and they did it perfectly in that entire fight.
Yeah, especially with how little value Blade gets without the nano. One of the things that you're always looking for when you have the Blade come up is some form of combo to make sure that the value of the blade is actually not just negated. But a nice sticky from Blink onto the Mercy, but it looks like they've gotten picks on both sides. They're going to end up going for an Nano Blade to try and even up the fight, which they have. They've gone to a 4v4, but Chico gets another, and it now looks like they're in a 3v3 situation. These spawns should favor the defenders here, as we do see them going off DPS versus the demeched Caissons. So it's kind of an even fight here, but in the favor of the defenders, and it looks like Oh Knockout just seemed to have missed his jump and falls into the pit. Apparently I'm not supposed to talk about that in the chat. Sorry about that knockout, but we are going to be running into this next fight as the Genji dives into the back line trying to get a pick onto the Ana. It looks like the cart push is going to be pretty strong from the side of the offense. They have all their numbers here, but a massive purple coming out from the Ana and Nacho Cheese. They're going to be able to restabilize, and the ultimates still haven't really gone up, so they're still fighting this neutral here, as Chico does end up getting the better of Marshkip as we move around the corner here. A lot of good pushing coming from the side of offense to make the second corner, but it looks like they're going to be forced back as Chico getting clean kill after clean kill into the back line as he's getting pocketed by that Mercy. But we're going to be focusing here on the ball as he's trying to stagger out a little bit. Gets purpled out, and this should just be a soft reset from the side of the attack.
Chico got 4 kills in there and did not get punished at all just because of a Mercy.
And from the looks of it, that first pick did a lot for them. And in that neutral fight, nobody was able to really focus them down and call out those. So maybe a little bit of a communication error from the back line of No. But we are going to be looking into an ult fight here. So it's going to be less of a dry fight than we saw last time. We're going to be focusing on Chico's blade. Got a lot of value out of it last time. It looks like he's going to go up in the air. They've got a bubble for the Mercy, but the Nano Blade also comes through, ends up burning Vendetta, and the bubble on Game Ruler is not enough. And the blink out from Rambo just to escape. Pretty quick fight win there, but a nice soft reset from the side of the offense just to make sure they don't feed any more ultimate charge to Chico's blade.
I feel like the Nano Blade was a good play, but honestly, the Primal Rage kind of was a burn. They didn't really need to use that in that situation. Knockout was in a safe position, and we didn't even see anything come out of it, I don't think.
It's good disruption at least, but at the same time, I think you're right on that call. But we do have Caissons falling down the pit. I think he got demeched out of Ghost Sniper's boop, falls underneath, and again we're stuck around this corner as the offense is down in number, as the ball is pulling over. Now the Monkey's just kind of caught in the back line, finds a little bit of tickle damage onto the back line, and jumps out and is able to escape. But a good push in and a good solid grab, another blade. It looks like there's going to be combo after combo for the ultimates, and the bomb doesn't find anybody as they got grabbed off to the other side of point, and Marshkip finds through with the blade. Should be enough, but the Tranquility comes in a little bit late, and it looks like Chico's still trying to stall point. Diva's going to have to make sure that they go and touch one of either the Blink or the Diva, but the Diva does get demeched as they were too low to be able to re-engage. It looks like the Trace is the only one able to stall. You should see stall characters out of the defense here, but nobody's able to get there as they nano the MILF money with 0.8 meters left to go. It's going to be swept up, but a kill coming out. That's a huge pick. Anyone, but the ball has gone underneath, and the stall potential has come out, but Chico does end up burning blade here. See if they can get any value. They still have to get at least some picks. They have spawn advantages. Any kind of pick is huge for the defense, but the stall is still going through, and Blink and Chico are unable to touch cart.
Wonder if Knockout's gonna type in chat, don't talk about it again, Filberto, because he has fallen off the map for a second time now. And I don't know if that's a fat finger right there.
To me, it looked like the grapple distance was just kind of misjudged. He grappled on cart and was coming out from the left side spawn door and just swung himself down into the pit. So, you know, it's a decent stall. They got into overtime. No time left on the clock for the first push. But we'll have to see if the other side can come through first, second, and third point as quickly, if not quicker.
Ready for battle.
I don't know, that first point cap was very, very fast from red side, so they've got to be even faster in second point at least than what No had to really get more time and be able to try to get another attack onto them.
And from what it looks like, we're reverting a little bit to the grand finals meta, minus the Widowmaker, as Widowmaker is banned. But we are running that Czar Hog with the San Francisco style of the Zen Mercy, rather than favoring that Ana that you typically like to see against played in the Hog. But we have more of a true dive from this side of the offense now, that Winston Zarya paired with the Ana Mercy and then the Genji Tracer. So we'll see if the backline of No struggles here, as Vendetta is going to be left for a lot of the peel. Either of the tanks are going to have to be focusing on the backline, but the Hanzo is going to be raining down shots from the top side. See if anybody can pressure him out. Looks like Blink's going to try and find the pressure onto the Hanzo, and he does force him off to the high ground. So nice positional advantage gained here from the Tracer. But we'll see a nice right click from the side of Game Ruler. Finds the temple of Blink, unexpectedly peeking that corner, and Game Ruler is just finding frag after frag after frag. And as a Zenyatta, you have the capacity to do that, even though you are a support role.
Zenyatta is a versatile character and can do things like that without having to be, you know, pocketed or anything, because he pockets himself with that Discord orb. You know, 50% on trans, which is usually not that fast of an ult charge, but he's able to pop right now.
Almost a minute in, but it does look like we have Blink taking first pick on a Ghost Sniper. Nice solid head clicks from them, but Game Rule again finding a pick to trade out the value, and there's going to be a res though. So the offense is still going to be in the numbers advantage, but res is now down. They're going to have to find some kind of value under this dive, but it looks like Knockout has switched off of that Winston to the Hog, and it does look like he is terrorizing the front line, but again, Game Ruler coming through with a nice headshot, and it looks like they're going to try and go for the res onto the Hog, and they do end up getting through, but the Tranquility still gets punished. Numbers advantage now going in the trades, but a high charge Zarya on point in Casins is going to cause some problems, as Vendetta is now trying to survive with only the tanks on point. The nice purple coming out from Nacho is going to do a little bit of damage, but Rambo's there, and it looks like they're going to try and burn Trank. They've called winnable on this, and now Knockout's or Ghost Sniper rather, is the only one on point with high charge, and Zarya is almost to 100% on the grab. They may be able to burn this to try and win, but numbers are going back and forth so quickly, I don't know who's who, but a nice yellow from there, traded grabs from there, a nice pulse bomb traded out, but again, numbers after numbers of trade. This fight is going on for so long, I don't even know who's got the advantage anymore, as they're just kind of trading and keeping it a 3v3, and ultimates are coming out everywhere. But it does look like the defense is going to be getting the res onto the Zarya, so they might have numbers advantage and restabilize on point here.
After that huge stall from Yes right there, or not from Yes, from No right there, we have to see a very hard push now, and then just full sweeping to the second point in order for Yes to have a better attack.
And from one of the things that I mentioned, I see is the Ana got the nano burned, but Chico does end up having Blade here. So you're going to want to see some kind of pocket, but with the Mercy going down to the Hanzo Dragon, they're probably going to be looking for another soft reset here. See if they can get any picks exiting, and a Ghost Sniper does end up finding Chico with a right click, so they're just going to have to try and hard reset around this corner, but they're still pushing this advantage and peeking. Ultimate's now in the hand of Yes, as they're going to be pushing through the choke pretty quick. A nice hook from Knockout, but gets bubbled out, as Ghost Sniper is now trying to focus down Knockout. You'd like to see a nade from Nacho land onto Vendetta if they get here, but they do end up getting that pocket blade that I was talking about going into the back line, but a whole hog now coming out from Vendetta to try and get them out, but picks have gone both ways, and again, this is going to turn into a very scrappy fight, as all this is going to be reliant on 1v1s, and it looks like they've got a 3-person grab from Casins, is unable to find anything, but he does end up getting Game Ruler, and now you have 2 tanks and a Mercy on point. The numbers advantage again in the side of the offense, but they don't have ultimates now. And now the defense are going to try and burn out and stall with the ultimates, and the res comes back onto Game Ruler. This is going to be a very scrappy fight indeed. We're going to have to see if they get any kind of cleanup, and as Ghost Sniper, Trank, and Marskit fall consecutively, it does look like finally, with less than 10 seconds to go, Yes, it's going to be capping the point. They've left Nacho Cheese on as they go chase the rest of the kills up Streets phase.
Ooh, that headshot from Marskip just shut Blink down so hard right there.
And I was
pushed up a little bit too far, honestly.
Yeah, I was antsy about that push. If you have one left on cart and you're going to try and chase those kills down when they still have numbers advantage, you're going to get punished. And from the looks of it, they do end up getting 2 picks. So now pushing through this archway is going to be a little bit more difficult. Vendetta does end up getting slept. So we'll see if the nade can find them. Unfortunately, nothing from it. We'll see what Marskip ends up doing as he spams down here. Chico's now taking the high ground with the Soldier, and the ultimates are going to be in the side of the defenders here, as we do see Rambo end up burning a pulse bomb, and it gets tanked out by the Zarya, but a nice hook coming from Knockouts to shut down one of the main damage dealers of the defense.
Is just sitting behind them. He's finally caught by On it though. Nacho cheese.
It's a good call out to go there, but he has stalled out a little bit of the cart to make sure they can't go through second, but a nice hook from O Knockout cancels the ultimate from Vendetta, and what was a massive ultimate advantage from the side of the defenders is now turned to only 2 ultimates as Ghost Sniper is close to the grab, but not quite there. They continue to stall cart as they're moving through Streets phase. They should get at least one more strong contest, but they're going to have a 6 deck of ultimates from the side of Yes here. We'll see what we end up finding out of these. From my perspective, more than likely what we'll see is a Nano Visor, but they end up burning Nano Visor, and they grab Pulse Bomb from Blink as well. 4 ultimates to make sure that they can solidify.
They really could have won that entire fight with just the Pulse Bomb and the grab, but they used Nano Visor also, which could have been what they could use to steamroll this 3rd point and actually get an even easier way to get a win off this. But Soldier ult does build pretty fast, and if Nacho does try his hardest, he can get it up even faster than Soldier.
And we saw that advantage kind of go to the other side from the defensive side point, but now as we say that, the grab and the Pulse Bomb coming out from Rambo ends up cleaning the rest of the kills out. And as that ult advantage, they end up burning 4 to make sure they take second point, but now the ults are kind of dry on the side of the defenders here. They did have to use them to stabilize, but now you're walking into a Whole Hog and a Valkyrie. So this Valkyrie is going to be an easy push forward. Should be able to aggress around this corner. Let's see if they can kite it early enough. But from the looks of it, they're going to have a Tracer duel now going on in the back line between Blink and Rambo, and Blink does end up coming on the high tops of it. Get a nice melee on. He's going to be searching for a Pulse Bomb in the back line here. Let's see if he can find the Zen. Probably wants to find a little bit more value onto the Mercy if they're ult tracking enough, as they know they have Valkyrie, but a Whole Hog's going to be coming out from O Knockout. And another right click from Game Ruler is going to connect. Some nasty right clicks from the Zen this evening.
He's gotten 2 perfect headshot right clicks onto Blink in 1 game.
And a tire dropped out from Marshkip as well, coming through that top rafter, unable to find any value. And it looks like the attacker's going to have some kind of steam to push through, but Vendetta does end up getting burned down through the visor. And it looks like there's no more ultimates from the side of the offense, and somebody's going to have to touch at least our cart. They do dive in with Rambo, and now Rambo has the tranquility to make sure. And they're going to have a Moira to come back on and stall. It looks like they have 3v6 on cart, 4v6 on cart. It looks like they're going to have both their tanks out as well, with no picks coming from either side. The defenders get the first one, and that should be the driving force behind this fight, as they now have the numbers and spawn advantage with 7 seconds to go. All they have to do is get it down to OT and run the clock, but Rambo is in the back line, finishing up the rest of the kills onto the DPS, and nobody's able to touch.
Rambo just destroyed that back line while the Roadhog was trying to push up to them, and it got the win on that.
Play of the game.
The solid push, from my opinion here, it's probably the scrap Pulse Bomb, right? Yeah. Oh, they burned the Nano onto the Tracer.
Wow, I didn't even realize that. The Nano didn't even go onto the Soldier, so
I think it may have missed. May have been a little bit of a misclick. Especially if they're burning Visor there, you'd really like to pair it with the Nano Visor, but no complaints. They do end up coming... No does end up coming on the top side of this.
Saying that he might as well change his name to Jonak. With those nasty right clicks in that game, you definitely should, man.
I don't know if we want to go all the way up to Jonak levels. Jonak's a little nasty himself. Personally, I'm more of a fan of Violet in the Zen role. Jonak is the OG 1 and 2 per season, but Violet been more recently impactful.
Definitely.
But yeah, in terms of the composition that we're seeing out of that first match, we saw a lot of regression into that more brawly, chaotic style of that Hog Zarya, right? We saw a couple of attempts at making dive work with the Winston, the Genji, and a lot of the value was coming out of those Genji blades, but losing those mid fights when you don't have ultimates up was just kind of dragging the fights along from the team's perspective, I guess. And so they made comp switches. They tried to go in for a little bit better in terms of the mirror matchup, and from the looks of it, No came out on top.